Here we are in my studio in Hell's Kitchen. When I first came to New York, I had a studio in Tribeca, and then the building had a problem, so I had to move. It was so difficult. Change is always good, I say. And then I found the space. It was a miracle. It was 1999. I got off the subway at the 50th Street station, which is the Alice in Wonderland station. So I looked around, I said, wow, it's Alice in Wonderland. It was so perfect for me. And I smiled and I said, this is meant to be. I feel a really good feeling about the space and positive adventures to come. And they did.
A tree grows in a New York City subway. Run away, subway in the dark. Through the window there is light. The cars are stark, empty. It is night. The imagination has sight. Looking out, it sees a blue sky bright. Trying to clearly see the buildings is a fight. Underground, day and night, the same. New York City full of people clutter, rushing, what a shame. Speeding smoothly, like butter, the veins of the city, pumping people to and fro. Constant motion, our universe, go, go, go. A tree grows? Oh no. Quietly through cracks in the cement city, who would know? The graceful leaves blow, the branches sit pretty. A tree grows under New York City. It will be cut down by some fake law committee. Another tree will come along strong to our gritty city. What a pity. We must have trust. There is light at the end of the tunnel, not just dust. Mental separations, fragments of thoughts pierced by time, lace of women, monumentality of men sung in the David, barriers of the mind, man and woman become one, fill the vacuum of the mind, let the genders harmoniously become menders. Explore in water, swim, scratch the surface, go out on a limb. How deep does it go? Does it frighten me? No. Is the mystery of the unknown a wanted plea? Stroke, stroke, and stroke. Expel energy and explore. Look ahead. Hope. There is an open door. You will float. You're not led. Look behind. Your dreams are not dead. The past is always kind, usually benign. Swim, expel energy and explore. I see clouds and feel bright. The sky with all its might, the water deep like night, the little girl so light, an elephant floats like a bird in flight. What a sight! In the lake, one does not seem short or tall. There is nothing fake. I cannot fall. There is no mistake or drop a ball. No need to call. You cannot miss. No fish to take. Just give a kiss. Swim. And awake.
The hardest part is the concept, of course. I spend hours looking at my negatives, many negatives. At this point I have books and books of negatives. I also do a sketch. I call it a blueprint. It's a very sketchy blueprint. I call my work a visual symphony. Each image is its own in its own right, but together, like a symphony, creates the message. So that's why I call my photographic paintings visual symphonies. They're a combination of painting and drawing and photography. So I can never reproduce the second one the same because I paint with light and then I paint with paint. The image is at the bottom, see a detail, my yellow cloth. What is my yellow cloth? We have a connection. I don't remember how I met my yellow cloth, but it came into my life and I was intrigued with it. I just love the way it floats in the air, and to me it's a symbol of energy. It's very fluid, like dance. So it travels with me all over the world. It drapes on trees, it goes in water. It's just a pure energy. Yellow is my favorite color. I've also been told my work doesn't have any tops or bottoms. Like life is infinite, our imagination's infinite.
My yellow cloth, the golden mean. My yellow cloth came to me unseen. Many years passed, or did I dream it to be? Golden mean, from Aristotle's time to now. Beauty and truth to be seen. Aristotle's golden mean. Seeking balance, no excess. It's here to stay, the best. With my soul, together a goal. My yellow inspiration. My silken cloth and pure energy. Floating, changing shape in infinite ways. Everything grows, nature, truth, helps us glow. Diaphanous, soft and light, blowing in the wind. It flows so bright, sensuous, alive, delicate yet strong. O golden mean, my yellow cloth breathes and my art never to part.
I think of an experiment like a multiple series of acceptable mistakes. A mistake or a miracle. Is it a mistake or a miracle? Or just a change of direction? A new thought. So sometimes when I'm beginning a piece and starting to paint it, I feel kind of a little nervous. I don't know how it's going to go. I paint slowly and I get kind of into a zone. It's kind of cool. Mistakes are something that can lead you into a new direction. We all have to not be afraid to make mistakes. Sunshine or dark, nothing is stark. Mistakes help us to see in so many ways. When is the art finished? That is part of the talent, to know when to stop, when to start, and when to stop. When I teach, which I love to teach, and I think I'm a pretty good teacher, that's a big question for students. My finished art pieces never torn or thrown away. Mistakes are meant to stay. From one's choice, there are infinite results to convey. Take a break and do ballet. As the piece evolves, it's talking to me, and I listen. What it wants, I listen. Most importantly is to play. A fresh viewpoint sees no mistakes. Another day. Mistakes push us to sometimes cry. Everything, including mistakes, are true. There are no lies. It's up to you. In experiments, you find different little things that work. So when you're experimenting, you're actually making mistakes. Sometimes I put it away and come back to it another day. Okay. People are using computers today, but I like the old-fashioned negatives. So I like the hands-on, the tactile feeling, working with a physical element. I've used with many different cameras over the years. This is with RB67. It's 6 by 7 centimeters. These were taken with a Bronica. Switched to a Hasselblad. So this is a square format. I did have a 4 by 5 camera, which is this size negative, which is the largest. I started out with 35 millimeter. These are the negatives for 35 millimeter. So different size negatives give you different resolution, a totally different concept than digital. I just love being in the darkroom. The beauty is when I work on my work, so I have so many books of negatives that I can work on new pieces for the rest of my life. So I make a brand new piece with old negatives. I was lucky and I had a house in Vence, it's the south of France, of a dancer, actually a conceptual artist who posed for me in the south of France. She was wearing black leotards and gloves and it was so hot. And she says, "Oh my God, Lauren, I want to be in your work. No, it's hot, but I want a shadow effect." So she became a shadow. I love to work with shadows. Now, this was found in Port Townsend, Washington State. I won a residency in Centrum, it's called, a lovely center. She's holding my yellow cloth. Now, this is another set I did in Port Townsend, Washington. Yoga teacher, dancer on log. I was very intrigued with the way the logs roll up on the beach. I'd never seen that before because I'd never been to Washington State. I don't really care where the images were taken, it's how they work together. We all know who this is. Lauren, your life is so bizarre, you need not exaggerate. My father was very poetic. It's true about my life, I just talk about it straight. 100. Paula was going to be 100 years old that November. I said to myself, I have to do a documentary. I've known her 10 years. We used to talk about that if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. My documentary is called A Tiny Voice because she was tiny, and she also was tiny in the art world. The art world is an interesting phenomena. Whether you're famous or not famous, however famous you get, and it doesn't matter. The most important thing is you do follow through and you're sincere about what your life is about. My name's Lauren Ellis. I'm a friend of this lovely lady next to me. Her name is Paula Wright. She celebrated her 100th birthday on November 19th, 1997, and she's a very accomplished photographer and a friend of mine for 10 years. I thought it would be interesting to meet her and hear what she has to say about her life and to see some of her work. Paula, say hello.
Hello.
Paula, this is the most gorgeous photograph I have ever seen of Albert Einstein. And it's not because you're my friend. He's thinking, he's animated. So Paula, say a few words about what you think of my work.
I thought that your work is very different from the average work. And
Thank you.
it was very interesting and absolutely different from our work, what I knew in photography.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you very much.
The documentary chapter page is titled Documentary, a Mirror of My Book. Life is a Dream Bubble. Lauren writes, what is creativity? It's best not to define. Stay open to discovery.
My goal is to create a tension with harmony and curiosity in the relationship of the images. This tension is meant to create a mystery, yet encourage one to look deeper in one's own psyche. Negative space is as important in my design as the visual elements.
Ask me why I create art, not how I create art. The idea and the message outweigh the importance of the material. Lauren continues, creativity is a mysterious mesh of my life events, impressions, creating art, writing poetry, listening to music and nature sounds, blended into what I coined a creative bubble. So in the film, I make the bubbles real. Each creative bubble is complete in itself, with no beginning or end, like my artworks, a continuum of life, randomly popping up, floating throughout the film, like a bubble.
Flavor of the South. My poor doll, sitting on a narrow shelf, all by itself, thinking about yesterday, escape from stimulation now and then, just for a breather, just to see where I am, not where I'm going. Don't even dwell on an unknown well. There is no boundary, no stability. Be content